Now, several lawmakers are under fire for selling major holdings at the beginning of this stock market sell-off.
There's all sorts of insider trading happening in Congress.
That's because they're corrupt. They want to keep making money from that insider trading.
The American people should know that a member of Congress is never leaving a classified briefing and calling their stockbroker.
In this video, I'm going to show you how we can track congressmen and congresswomen and their trades that they take within the markets. Overall, this is absolutely staggering to find out. For example, like Nancy Pelosi has overall beaten the stock market year on year in performance. And overall, these individuals are privy to information that the public necessarily aren't.
Members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress.
No, I don't know to the second one. Because this is a free market and people, we are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
You know, we signed up for this job. We knew what the pay was. It isn't a, we're going to pay you this much plus corruption.
Have you both become aware of colleagues of yours that are bending the rules with their trades?
I am not going to go into some names. We both know the names of some people that have made millions of dollars off of trading, spouses trading stocks while committee hearings are going on.
I'm going to show you some examples of how congressmen and congresswomen are taking advantage of their roles within the government and overall are privy to financial information and also decision making by sitting on certain committees, and how they're then going off and purchasing stocks around these positions. This is often a very good way to see an inside move within the markets and overall allows us to take advantage of it. So we're on QuiverQuant, which is a strategy platform that overall tracks different individuals within the US government and shows exactly what shares they're buying, as it has to be public information. So usually there is a couple of day lag behind when they actually buy the position to then it progressing and being public. However, this is still enough of a time frame for us to be able to take advantage of it, because sometimes these purchases aren't at core points, but they could be, say, 2 weeks to a month prior to the information going public that they've purchased. I'm still debating how this is even legal, how these individuals can actually then go and buy them.
Why ban members of Congress from trading stocks?
Because it appears to be unethical, and it is wrong fundamentally, and the American people know it's wrong.
The American people expect members of Congress to be serving the American people and the American public and not their stock portfolios.
We have to be able to assure the American people that they don't have to worry about if they're competing with their member of Congress's stock portfolio in order to be heard.
But you can see here different Congress individuals. You can see strategies based on the overall market. Look at Congress buys. So just basing your portfolio on what congressmen and congresswomen are buying, you can see the portfolio of return since 2020 here is over 320%. Now, obviously we know the market has gone up, but it's pretty crazy to look at this to see exactly what these returns are. You can also see Congress sales here, US House long and short, so you can see the difference between them. You can then also track individuals here, and you can also then look at something that I think is very interesting, and this has been tracked since 2009, which is lobbying. So this is talking about different companies that are lobbying governments to push their company agenda, how then the stock then performs after that. So there is a correlation between lobbying spend and stock performance. So you can see this portfolio here for lobbying spending is up 3,919%, which is rather staggering to see the performance. So one of the most prominent individuals that gets a lot of airtime around their stock purchases is Nancy Pelosi, one of the US representatives, House Speaker previously. But we can have a look here and have a look at her portfolio. Now, what's absolutely crazy is that when we compare her portfolio growth to the S&P, you can see the staggering return difference that her portfolio has done against the market, and overall has always outperformed the markets. Now, this is because she is privy to so much information, and her gains are crazy. Look at that, returns over the last 1 year, 32.58%. So we can see all the different shares that she's buying, and this gives us information of what's happening. So we can see her recent positions. You can see that she hasn't actually recently amended or opened anything since 2023, so she's holding on to that. But we can see her return based on portfolio of what she's holding from Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, all the way down here. We can see different portfolio positions, but you can see that 360% returns. So this is Nancy Pelosi and her performance. So you can literally go onto QuiverQuant and you can then look to actually copy trade off the back of what these congressmen and congresswomen are purchasing. But what I like about this is we can then see further information. So we can go and see who are recent buyers. And by no means, by the way, I have any sort of affiliation with QuiverQuant. I have no relation to them. I just think that the research behind it is very important, because it also then, what we can see off the back of this is we can see information that we may not have seen publicly. So a great example of this would be Susie Lee on the May 24th. She has purchased between $1,000 and $15,000 of RNMBY. Now, really interesting, if we go and Google who is RNMBY, we can go and see some further information about that. So if we click launch dashboard of recent trades, you can also see another one here. You can see purchased here, Laurel M. Lee, House Representative, bought 100,000 to 250,000 of this stock here. But my focus is going to be on Susie Lee, because I think this is quite interesting. So since she bought, it's actually down 3.55%, which is fine, because it means if I wanted to join this potential move that she's looking at, if I can understand it and break it down, then there could be a further potential upside for me, and I've ultimately got it at a better price. If you want to get in the mix on our raffles where you can win some great prizes as well, check out our free raffle entry in the description, where you can win some great prizes such as my weekly lessons, my online courses, and various different products that we have. Make sure you get in the mix. So if we have a look at RMBY, and we can see where before trade and then after trade of where she's bought, we can start having a little bit further look into this information. So you can see the stock is here. So let's now Google this company. And you can see here, actually, investing.com has brought a story about it. And this just shows you how messed up this actually is. So you can see here, Susie Lee from Nevada's 3rd District acquires Renmetal AG's stock. You know, this is crazy. A congressional trade report has disclosed that Susie Lee, a member of the Congress representing Nevada's 3rd Congressional District, has made a noteworthy purchase of the stock. It is a military technology corporation that is based in Germany. Now, when we think about this, we've got the heightened tensions at the moment in Ukraine and Russia. This is interesting to see military spending and purchasing of a stock by someone in Congress. To go and buy that stock. You can see all the information as well, conducted via Fidelity Investments. It's owned by the Congresswoman herself, which is interesting. It's a global supplier of automotive components and defense equipment. So overall, she's, in this instance, when we're trying to build the pieces together, it looks like she believes that there's going to be increased military defense spending from Germany. And we can now explore and look a little bit further into this stock. So this just shows that Susie Lee here is probably privy to further information, as she's sitting on a committee specifically around military construction. So again, I don't understand how this is even possible or how it's legal, but we can see this information. So now if we actually go and have a look at this stock's performance, just literally using Google like I am here, you can see it's actually up 72% year to date, okay? And then over the last 5 years, it's up 441%. So Susie Lee is probably onto something here, and it looks like this company is going to grow. So keeping tabs on what congressmen and congresswomen are purchasing can really give us an insight into what's going to happen in the markets. This could also mean that there could be increased tensions with NATO and Russia in Ukraine, and overall we're going to see military spending increase. But from an ethical point of view, if you're sitting on a committee around military construction and then you're going to go and buy a military stock, you're definitely privy to information and you're taking advantage of that. So having an understanding of what congressmen and congresswomen women are buying from QuiverQuant allows us to see an insight into what these people are doing. And when we talk about understanding what does performance look like, we can look at QuiverQuant and we can see that the overall performance of individuals that are within Congress and making buys has achieved over 320%. So when we have a look at this here, you can see that Congress buys outperform the S&P year on year. Now that is something to take into account, because if we're all targeting to outperform the S&P, then overall we have just found a strategy to do so by seeing what people within Congress are buying. Whether or not it's ethically correct that they're doing it, the information has to be public, therefore we can take advantage of it. So you can see here that Congress buys over the last year has performed 40.11%. There is no upcoming trades at this moment in time, and they're subject to change up until the rebalance date. So the rebalance date will get more information on June the 3rd here, which is next Monday. So it'll be a great insight to be able to see exactly how that looks and how we can then take advantage of it. And tracking what these individuals are buying and what they're selling is also going to be an overall beneficial state to us. So another example of this, of information being privy, is Representative Josh Gottheimer has disclosed the purchase of stock in Fair Isaac Corporation. Okay, now what is really interesting is this is a credit scoring company. Guess what? Gottheimer sits on the House Financial Service Committee. How mad is that? How mad is that he sits on the committee for the financial services, and then he then goes and buys stock in Fair Isaac Corporation, also known as FICO, and FICO is a credit scoring service. So it's mad that we can see this information and that we can be privy to this information. So let's have a quick look and see how that stock is performing. FICO, Fair Isaac, year to date up 22%. Be interesting to see when he purchased it. So let's go back, because let me guess what, he probably bought it all the way down here, didn't he? So you can see literally over the last, let's put 1 month, up 20% in the last month. So here you can see that on QuiverQuant I've just typed in his name and I'm going to click him. He's a Democrat. Let's click on him. We can see his trades by year, trades by volume. This guy's very, very busy. And you can see since he bought this, he traded on April 29th. He's up 17% on FICO. So very interesting to see. You can see his portfolio as well of what's performing, what's not performing. And again, having information that he's privy to, especially this one where he sat on the company. And I mean, you can't get more ridiculous than this. Look, that is when he bought it. How crazy is that? So he literally bought it at the bottom of this dip here, and you can see how the trade has performed since. This just goes to show you, when we track congressmen, congresswomen, individuals within Congress, both Democrats, both Republicans, you can see how we can take advantage of this within the markets and overall track their performance. Their performance is staggering, and this is how we can achieve high yields and beat the S&P. If you've enjoyed this video about how we've broken down how congressmen and congresswomen take advantage of the markets and also the committees that they sit on and how you can take advantage of it, make sure we hit that subscribe and like button and get in the comments if you think they should even be able to do this. Guys, I've put together a 100% money back guarantee investment masterclass course. This breaks down how I invest in the markets and overall guarantees that if you don't make money within 12 months, then you'll get the course refunded to you. Pretty crazy, I know, but everything I've put in over the years is documented and shows how you can perform in the markets, from trading stocks, the FX markets, indices, ETFs, you name it, we break it down. And overall, I think it's a great stepping stone to get you on the right track of being profitable within the markets. Check the link in the description to get your hands on my masterclass course.